Today, we're going to take a look at the world through a whole new set of eyes, the eyes of artificial intelligence. We're going to explore how AI actually perceives our reality. I mean, think about it for a second. You type in a word like cat, and your phone, which has no idea what a cat is, instantly digs up exactly the right photos from, the thousands you have stored. How on earth does it do that? Well, the answer isn't actually magic, even though it totally feels like it. It's a field of AI called computer vision, and it's all about teaching a machine to do this exact thing, to identify not just one, but a bunch of different things in a single, complicated picture. So what does that even mean, to teach a machine to see? That is the big question we're going to unpack right now. At its core, computer vision is really just the science of training computers to see, interpret, and most importantly, understand the world from images and videos, kind of like we do. You can think of it like this. If AI is the brain, computer vision is its eyes. And I really want to stress this. This isn't just about a computer recognizing a pattern of pixels or a splash of color. It's about pulling meaning from what it's seeing, understanding the context. You use this technology every single day, probably without even thinking about it. When you unlock your phone with your face, that's computer vision in action. It's mapping out the unique geometry of your face and making sure that, yep, it's you and not somebody else. Or how about this one? When you take one of those big panoramic photos? Well, computer vision is the thing working behind the scenes, finding all the overlapping parts in each picture and then stitching them together so perfectly it just looks like one incredible sweeping shot. Okay, now let's jump to something way more complex, a self-driving car. For that to work, it has to understand everything happening around it all the time. This is what the car sees, a world that's been neatly broken down into categories. That's the road, that's a building, that's another car. It's called semantic segmentation, and it is absolutely crucial for the car to navigate safely. And this is where things get really mind-blowing. Computer vision can now take just a handful of regular 2D photos of something and build a fully interactive 3D model out of them. It's literally understanding shape, depth, and texture just from flat pictures. Wild, right? So we've seen what it can do, which is pretty amazing. But how? How does a machine go from looking at a bunch of pixels to actually understanding what's in an image? Well, the brain behind the computer's eyes is usually a system called a neural network. And yeah, it's inspired by our very own brains. It basically processes an image in layers. The first few layers might spot simple things like edges or corners. Then the next layers combine those to recognize more complex patterns, and so on. It's this layered approach that builds up to a final understanding. When you break it down, the whole process is pretty logical. First, you've got the input. You feed an image into the system. Then comes the processing. Because that network has been trained on millions and millions of labeled images, it's learned to look for specific features. The early layers grab edges, the next layers combine them into shapes, and later layers might identify things like, say, ears or whiskers. And finally, you get the output. The system puts it all together and makes a prediction. Yep, this is a cat. But this whole thing leads to a really fascinating, kind of weird paradox. We humans are amazing at the hard stuff. Like looking at someone's smile and knowing if it's genuine or sarcastic. But computers, they crush what we find hard, like instantly spotting every single face in a giant crowd. So what's easy for us is hard for them, and what's hard for us is easy for them. So this is obviously way more than just a cool trick for sorting your photos. Let's talk about why computer vision really truly matters out in the real world. The impact is just massive. It's totally revolutionizing entire industries, from saving lives in hospitals to changing how we get around our cities. Let's just look at a few quick examples. Take healthcare. This is where it gets really serious. Computer vision AIs can be trained to look at medical scans, like X-rays or MRIs, and spot the tiniest signs of diseases like cancer, sometimes way earlier and more accurately than even a trained human eye. This is tech that is literally helping to save lives. And yeah, we already talked about transportation, but it's a huge one. The entire dream of self-driving cars is basically built on computer vision. It's the technology that lets a car see a pedestrian, read a stop sign, and stay perfectly in its lane. And let's bring it back to something fun you've probably used. Ever opened an app to see how a new sofa would look in your living room before you buy it? That's computer vision. It's mapping your real-world space and then realistically dropping a virtual object right into it. It is fundamentally changing how we shop. Okay, So all of this is what's happening right now. But this field is moving at an absolutely incredible pace. So what's next? What does the future of machine sight even look like?
I think one of the best ways to think about all this is summed up in this one idea. Computer vision is not just about teaching machines to see, it's about shaping the future. Giving our own creations the sense of sight, that's a monumental shift, and we're really only just starting to figure out what that means.
And that leaves us with one final and really important question. For the very first time in history, we have given our machines the power of sight. So now, we have to decide what we want them to look at. What problems should they help us solve? The answer to that is going to define our world for a long, long time.